So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about One Piece live action season two. And we're only talking about, so we're only going to be kind of covering the first three episodes, giving our first reactions and everything like that with the show. David, you will be super proud of me. I actually took notes for this.
Good.
I mean, they're more like plot points than notes, but they're there.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And I broke it down. Episode 1, 2, and 3. Right, episode 1, 2, and 3. Just noticeable things, like things that I saw that were different, things I saw that were good, that were bad, that were whatever, good, the bad, the ugly. Right?
Honestly, I'm glad that you did, because me, I'm just gonna start spitting different things out. So it seems like you got at least a good order to things. So go ahead. Start us off.
It's an order, but let's just start out with episode 1.
Episode 1.
Right? Episode 1. Episode 1 obviously starts us off with Robin and Baroque Works. Baroque Works kind of showing up and taking out the Marines. We got Miss Valentine, number 5, and then Robin shows up, obviously. The first thing I wrote for episode 1 was Robin ... fine. But no, what I really was interested in seeing, and I've been thinking about it since the first season when we got Robin, how was her CGI power, her LaFleur was going to look. And that looked great.
It looked really good.
That CGI for her Das Le Fleur, whatever, I don't know how she says it, but her hand fruit, whatever it is, like fantastic, right? So I think the CGI for that one looked really good. Obviously Robin's coming in, they're going to check out Mr. 7 Mr. 7, because obviously Zoro cut him in half, and so they're going to check out Mr. 7, but I think that was really fantastically done. But that's like the start of it. Obviously, we get Robin, we get her introduction, everything like that. I mean, if you got any thoughts on that, we could just push into Logtown.
Nah, I got full thoughts on that interactions with Robin, with the rest of Baroque Works, and it's actually all throughout the first 3 episodes. But one thing I did want to say is, like, I really do love the fact that the live action is choosing to add in these filler scenes, because it adds more context to the world. It makes the world even bigger. It doesn't just seem like the show is just focusing on the Straw Hats. It's also focusing on what's going on in the peripherals as well. So just because this didn't happen in the manga or in the anime, it actually makes the story better, in my opinion.
And so I was catching the differences between the anime and the live action, but me being a cinematic buff for live action stuff, I know that you have to change things to make it flow better for live action things, to make it a complete story, not just an anime where you can be like, next time on Dragon Ball Z. Like, you can't just do that, So, like, I appreciated some of the little conversations that were had. Now, when we get to Logtown, there's some things that are brought up to us that in the anime and the manga you don't find out until later down the road. And so I don't know how I feel about that, but at the same time, the scene itself, what I think was a good placement. I think it was a good implement. And so, getting into Logtown, right? Obviously the crew's going there to stock up on supplies. This is where Zoro gets his sword, Sanji gets his food, and his little elephant fish that looked disgusting. Usopp gets his glasses, and then Luffy obviously just goes wherever. Goes wherever he wants. Let's talk about it. I like Logtown. I like the way it looked. I think the town looked really great comparatively, to the anime, because that's what I really have to compare it on. I never really read the anime. But I think it looked great. I think it looked great comparatively to the anime. Zoro going in there. So just start out, because my favorite character is Zoro. So starting off with Zoro going to look at the shops. I think the whole interaction was hilarious. I mean, it was probably more funny than when I watched the anime, because, the dude sees Zoro's sword and he's just like, how about I give you like 200,000? And he's like 400. He said 400 and whatever you want off the walls. He's like, nah, 750. That's all. That's the only way up from here. And then the old girl, Tashigi. Tashigi comes in and she's like, oh my gosh, this thing is worth hundreds of millions of berries. And he's like, damn. He's like, shut up, my favorite customer. And then Zoro ends up getting his 3 swords. He does the whole throwing up, holding his arm out so he can test the will of the sword and everything like that. Fantastic. Definitely. I mean, fantastic, craftably done. And I mean, just gonna get into not get into episode 3, but there's a reason why this Zoro is probably the best pick for.
Oh yeah, this Zoro is absolutely perfect. Every scene that he's in, every line that he has, it's just perfect. But honestly, I think of episode 1, the shop scene had to be the best out of everything. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things that I did love and a lot of things that they added, but the shop scene was perfect for me because it was like a 1-for-1, just change of dialogue a little bit to make it feel a lot better, and yet you still got the same feelings as you did reading it or watching it as an anime. The shopkeeper at first, he doesn't believe that Zoro, he thinks he's just a random guy who wields a sword, and he's like, oh, I can just play this guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. To Tashigi coming in and basically blowing his whole scheme, and then him like, hey, well, I got this sword over here, you can go ahead and purchase it, and then Tashigi mentions that, oh yeah, it's cursed sword. He's like, curse is not going to work on me, and then throwing it up in the air, perfect, all the way.
Even the shop people's like, I'm not selling you that. And he's like, yeah, but so if it kills me, if it cuts my arm off, sure. If it doesn't, you're selling me the sword. And then he just gets it all for free, and then he gives him his best sword in the shop, and he's like, oh, sold, bye bye. You know,
the impact of the scene is great because these are his swords that he runs for hella arcs, like. Until he receives Enma far in the future, these are his main swords. So the fact that they spent the time to actually make this thing perfect, I appreciate that.
What's even funnier, and so I'm gonna get into like talking about Nami and talking about like Sanji a little bit based on their characters, based on the anime. But what's even funnier is like I've had Nami to me hasn't been acting like normal Nami, and like to me she's different than the Nami we get in the anime. She's a little less mom and more just here along for the ride. You know, she's like because in the anime she's very mom, I'm in charge, I do this, I do that, you guys are stupid, punch him in the back of the head. Like this time she's just very chill and like really one of the friends and part of the crew. But what kind of like reset me on like that's my Nami is when he like comes back, he hands her the money she handed him, and he was like, I got him for free, didn't need it. And she's like, all right, well, you still owe me interest.
You're still paying me interest. No, I agree and disagree still a bit. I still feel like she's still the mom of the crew, the mature one out of all these immature guys. And she kind of like levels things
yelling at him. She's not like yelling at him, punching him in the back of the head, getting mad at him.
That's an annoying shonen thing that they do in anime. So I'm glad that they're not going that hardcore with it.
No, true. But here's the thing, and kind of getting into Luffy, like outside of the shop on Zoro, like the reason why I say this is because I like that because they're doing more like realistic. It's more realistic, right? But is it just me, or is the actor that's playing Luffy seeming like he seems like a tryhard? Like he's seeming like he's trying harder to be Luffy than he did last season. He's smiling a lot more. His face is just like this the whole time. He's like screaming randomly, which our Luffy did in the anime. Like he does. And so it's a little harder to translate that on like a live action. It looks weirder live action, right? Because like a conversation I had with Sarah, because we were watching that together because she loves the show. She loves watching the live action. She was like, we were talking about how the characters look cosplay, which I've said before plenty of times, right? The characters look cosplay. I said, the problem why it doesn't bother me, even though I do agree, is that you have a show that's absolutely ridiculous when it comes to costumes and outfits. If you put those on real people, they're gonna look weird. Like it's gonna look weird. Like that's just life, right? And so I understand with Luffy, for example, that's what we got in the show, was him being just loud and obnoxious and smiling and yelling and all this stuff. But like it just seemed, I don't know if it seemed out of place, but it seemed out of place in the fact that everybody else acts normal and not like an anime character, and he's acting like an anime character. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but just in my head, it makes sense. He seemed like he was acting like an anime, like he was acting like Luffy and not being Luffy, while the rest of them were being their characters and not acting like their characters. Yeah, but in a good way.
The thing is, and I said this even myself, this feels like Luffy, but it's not Luffy. It's live action, and this is something that you said a while ago, that anime characters are hard to translate into real life. But the thing is with Luffy, if you take away that anime personality, you took away Luffy, and that's something that he really has to deal with. That he has to feel like Luffy. He can't do a Zoro, where Zoro they kind of like toned him down. Or better example, Sanji. They toned Sanji down.
I was about to get into that.
And I love the fact that they toned him down. But it still feels like Sanji because of the cooking, because of the being suave and flirtatious, just not the over extreme. But with Luffy is over extreme. That's his whole character. So if you taking that away, it just feels like someone cosplaying Luffy.
Yeah, that's what I was getting into though, is the fact that like Sanji, for example, with him and he doesn't flirt with Nami like that. He says my love and he says like this, and with the girls at the bar, right? At Cactus Town, right? Like when we get into episode 3, like, or Cactus Island, whatever. Like he was being like slick with it.
Funny.
He was being slick with it. He was pouring the drinks, like he was being a dude. Like he was being like how a normal guy with a silver tongue would be, right? And they toned down his like, Nami, I love you, like all this craziness. They toned that out, and I love that. I love that he's just a good-looking, flirtatious guy. That's just what he is, right? And I love that they did that because that makes it more realistic, right? But then with Luffy, it's like,
but even in the anime, he's not realistic. Like how Luffy is, like people look at him like, this is your captain? Like what the hell is wrong with this guy?
And I get that, but maybe live action just makes him look more psychotic.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Maybe that's just what it is.
I was reading something. The biggest problem they have is this dude is getting older. And his like, you can start to tell quite easily that his body is maturing more. Like he's still in his 20s, but he's going through puberty hard. And even if they're like were able to catch him while he was still looking young, this season, bro looks like he's at least 21, 22 years old now. He doesn't look like a 17-year-old.
It's like it's kind of like somebody's.
It's like watching someone like 25 years old acting like they're 17 years old.
Yeah,
it's noticeable. Yeah, and I think that's what's hard to see.
It's like somebody after season 1 told him like, hey, this next season you have to ramp up the Luffy-ness. Because last season I liked the way he acted. He wasn't overly like, you know what was super cringy to me? Like, and I hate using that word. There's like a few words in this new slang that I hate using, but I have to. This was super cringy for me in Logtown. I know we're jumping forward, but when he was on the platform and he was like, hey guys, I'm dead. And he started like laughing. And I was like, I know that's what Luffy did, and I was waiting for it. If he didn't do it, I would have been mad. But that seemed like super, like, hey, princess, does daddy need to, you know, those like cringe little Instagram videos you see where like dudes are trying to act tough. I'm like, ew. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, ew. Like that was not, because like,
trust me, I was cringing that moment too, but.
In the anime, I laughed when he did that. He was like, hey guys, I don't know what to tell you. I'm cooked. Like, it is what it is. But in this one, I was just like, yikes. Yeah. But that's obviously, you know, talking a bunch of negative stuff about that. It's really the actor's just recreation of Luffy. It's just weird to me. It just seems like he's always like big, like, I'm just like, well, bro, stop. Everybody else is normal now. You could be normal.
You could be normal too. Honestly, I don't feel like he can. I don't think I think that was one of my complaints last season, that he felt different. Like him not choosing food over anything. Like he said, I won't eat until you get better. Like, no, that's not Luffy. Luffy is going to eat. Like he would say something, I'm going to eat less. Like he would say some shit like, I'll eat less until you get better. So I think this season they are definitely hitting it home. Like someone, like you said, someone last season was like, hey, well, you were Luffy, but just kind of, you know, turn that bitch up. So yeah, I see it, but then I
can accept it.
Yeah, I can accept it.
Mm-hmm. I can accept it. It is what it is. But I mean, all right, going deeper into Logtown, obviously we got Sanji. Sanji's toned down a lot more. He's going in to look for the fish and looking for all the food for the ship. And there's not much to really talk about. I mean, the guys are out there looking for their stuff, right? We get the whole scene with Nami and Usopp finding the glasses. I thought it was actually kind of funny. I thought it was actually kind of comical. In the background, when Usopp is going to the shop, he's like, oh, what's that? The little girl has the glasses on, and he goes to take them, and she smacks his hand, and he's like, and then like the next scene, he walks up with the glasses on his head, like he took them from the little girl. I thought that was really funny. I thought that was kind of cool. It's funny because like when you really look at it, you can see them like do a smile at each other. Like it's not like a normal smile. It's like like the camera can't see it smile. And so I don't know if they're like related or she's like a big One Piece fan and she was just an extra or something. But like it was funny that when he went to go grab his glasses, she's like, it seemed like a improvisation. Like when she smacked his hand, it seemed like that's what that was, and they like kind of chuckled at each other. Like the camera wasn't gonna pick it up, but I thought that was actually really like a good little interaction there. And then Nami getting her books, and then she finds out like a storm's coming, and then we get Luffy coming up to the people. I mean, Luffy walking out to first Bartholomew looked great.
My daughter said, "Why does he look like that?" I'm like, "That's how he looks in the anime." He's like,
"That's how he looks."
Yeah, but why he look like that?
Like, what's hilarious is I was like, "Oh wait, this is Bartholomew from Dressrosa with the shields, with the he has the shields that he puts up." And I'm like, "Oh, he becomes obsessed with Luffy, like with all the Straw Hats. He's like a groupie number one of the Straw Hats." And I'm like, "Dang, that's crazy!" Like this Bartholomew, because he looks more rugged, more I'm trying to take your money with the knives and stuff, like all kinds of stuff. Like I kind of got a vibe. So like obviously Bartholomew catches Luffy and he takes him to go see the execution tower. Oh, and then like kind of to backtrack a little bit, we get the scene, which is the scene I'm talking about what we didn't get in the anime, of Garp talking to Roger in the prison. Like them having a whole communication about like, you know, like his son Ace, and like, I mean, they didn't say Ace, but like we know it's Ace. Yeah. Like for those of us who've watched the show, talking about his son and talking about his execution and like taking after his son. I was like, oh, I kind of like this. I like that.
I like that they added a lot of things that should happen in the future. The flashbacks that should happen in the future, they made it happen now, because two things. One, it kind of points out the fact that this isn't going to go on forever. We're not going to see live action Eggheads. So they're getting the things that they may not hit in the future. They're putting it on the front end to make the story feel once again more complete. Because like you said, cinematography, they're going to do that in normal movies, because that's how you see it. It's a full flow of understanding. Hey, this thing, and that's important because it creates that relationship already between Roger and Gramps. Where in the beginning we didn't even know there was a relationship, and then suddenly we find out much later that Ace was actually brought to, or Garp was the one who actually adopted Ace. Like, wait, where did that come from? But
and Sabo and all that.
Finding out earlier is like, okay, that makes sense. I like that. So the fact that they're getting a lot of flashbacks that should happen, arcs in the future, and bringing it in now, I'm not against that. But I know there are going to be people who are not going to like that.
That's what I said to Sarah too. I was like, this isn't going to be a 1,000 episode, live action series. So that's why they're putting a lot of that stuff in the front half, because it's going to be, when it does end, we're going to get a complete story. Like we're going to get something that feels like it ended, even though we know there's more, like a lot more. We're going to get something that we know is actually complete. But while this is going on, obviously, Bartholomew takes him to the execution tower. We get old Smoker showing up. I think Smoker is stupid. I think he looks dumb. I think he's too young. I think he's too small. I think Smoker should be older and bigger.
But like 100%.
Not like the way his voice, like he has like a really old gruff voice. Like he's like a man in his 40s. Like you can tell. He may not be, but that's how he's portrayed. And so
now you already did say that he doesn't seem big enough, and
no, he doesn't seem.
I don't know.
He seems short and like stout. He's like a small, stout guy. Like he's a really short, muscular dude. And I think he should be bigger. And I think he should have been older. He looks like a late 20s-year-old dude with his hair slicked back. Like I think that's, I don't know. He doesn't seem like the Smoker that I know and love. No, not at all.
Now, outside of costume-wise, cosplay-wise, his the CGI with his fruit, like I love that all the way around.
Yeah,
the fight scenes.
I'll give you that.
Like just him like engaging with Luffy, like I was here for it. But yes, in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, it's Smoker. You can't say it's not Smoker, but it's some guy cosplaying a Smoker.
He seems he should be older, more mature. Like I'm not saying he was immature, but just more mature in his age and his like what he does, and he should be more like. I don't know. He should just be bigger. He should be taller and bigger. And so that's just my personal opinion. Again, I know like casting is probably not the easiest thing to pull off, like an old but muscular white guy, but like you can find it. Let's be honest. You're a multi-million dollar, almost billion-dollar industry when it comes to One Piece. Like you can find the casting for that.
Yeah, I mean,
so
he's like 30 years old, and
yeah.
I guess he does seem a bit young. I got you there. But
yeah, he just seems like a young. Like I know he's a young captain, right? Because we get the whole conversation with Garp and Smoker like later after Luffy escapes, but where he's like, "Oh, you remind me of you when you're age." So I know like Smoker's younger because he's also a captain. Like let's be honest, we were both in the military. There are young ass captains younger than some sergeants, without like understandably, but like in the show, he just seemed gruffer and just like, and I know because of the smoke, right? That was the whole point. They made his voice really deep and hoarse because he smoked cigars all the time. But this guy seemed, he's just
seems a little too clean cut. It makes me feel like how you felt with The Witcher from season 3 to season 4. Like he just seemed a little too clean for the smoke that we've gotten used to. So I'm with you there. But how did you feel about, like, I don't know if you really caught it or if you really knew, but Bartolomeo and Luffy didn't meet in Logtown. Like that's something that
I did not realize that.
But it is true that Bartolomeo was in Logtown and he saw Luffy's failed execution, and that was one of the reasons why he loved him. So how do you like addedness to
I remember that. I remember Bartolomeo being there. I just don't remember I just didn't remember that they didn't talk and meet. But I like that. Again, cinematic flow, right? Like that makes it more personal than just seeing one random guy that looks like Sabretooth off of X-Men Origins, and he just sees some dude and then he's just like, I'm obsessed with this guy. No, he talked to Luffy. So what I was getting to earlier was it kind of gave me a Gon and the little lizard guy vibes when Luffy went to go look at the execution tower. Bartolomeo's like getting his knife ready to probably stab Luffy and take him for all he's got. Luffy comes on around the corner and he's just like, what dreams do you have? And the dude's like, no one's ever asked me that before. And it gave me like the Gon. He's like, hey, you're just gonna trust me? He's like, yeah, of course I'm gonna trust you, or I'm just gonna kill you. Like that, you know what I'm saying? But like it gave us a sense of why Bartolomeo was obsessed with Luffy, like why he becomes obsessed, because Luffy was the first one to ever ask him, like, what dreams do you have? I want to know what your dreams are. And he's just like, oh man, I don't know, you know, like I don't. And then when the execution happens, he sees it and he's like, this dude is amazing. Like this dude is like a hero, somebody I can look up to. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, but if you didn't catch it in the passing, when Luffy is on the tower and he screams, I'm going to be the Pirate King, there's like a black lady behind a shop merchant desk. She smiles, another person smiles. Like, it's like they got hope. You know what I'm saying? And so like that gives us more of a reason why to understand why Bartolomeo became obsessed with Luffy and followed them everywhere they went. And so I really love that because I didn't even know that, but that they added that to make it more personable to Bartolomeo, other than just him seeing some random dude about to be executed and then lightning strike.
That does make a lot of sense, because Logtown was Goldie Roger's home birthplace. Yeah. So maybe Bartolomeo is from Logtown, but I'm sure the people of Logtown, the ones who are not with the Navy, they seeing Luffy pretty much embodying who Goldie Roger was. I'm sure that was like, he's back. He's back. This is inspiring. This is bringing hope. This is bringing.
They said it.
Yeah, this is it. So I actually really did love the fact that they made him start off from being just a mark. I found that to be hilarious too, because Nami said you got to find a mark, and then as soon as he sees Luffy, he's like, "Hey, Mark." I mean, So it was a great interaction, and honestly, it makes more sense now why Bartolomeo really looks up to Luffy after seeing that as well. So. Once again, love it.
So after the execution tower, we go to old Buggy the Clown, but takes his hat off, runs away, gives him the finger, and then we see old Buggy the Clown's in there. I still love Buggy. I think Buggy's costume and his actor is great, and it gives me Joker. It actually gives me like Joker vibes,
Facts.
Like from Batman, and I love that fact. I also love. So I'm not a big cusser. I don't like cussing that much, and I even been trying to stop and everything like that, but I don't cuss as much as I used to. But this is gonna be not controversial, but like I guess hypocritical. I like that Buggy cusses a lot. Like that's just the type of person he seems he would be. You know what I'm saying? Like calling him names and calling him like, shit heel, like all that stuff. Like,
I like the maturity of the whole show, quite honestly, because when you had mentioned him flipping them off, I noticed a lot of people flip people off a lot in this show. So it makes it more mature too. Like this pirate world was just all fun and then sunshines in anime, but now it's like this is a nitty gritty world, like people who hate each other, people who are trying to f people over. Like I love that.
Yeah, perfect. They smoke, they screw, they screw people over.
This is
they
the pirate world
people.
that you expect.
This is literally pirates, just with silly outfits.
Like with silly outfits,
just with silly the dandelion pirates. Oh gosh, we're gonna get to that,
bro. How do you feel? So keeping on the same tone with the buggy, how do you feel about Alvida?
So I made a comment about this to my wife. So actually, I gotta tell you, I can't forget this. I gotta tell you something she said, which was hilarious. But I like it because Alvida, she was bigger, and in the anime, she was a big girl.
She was,
and she slimmed up a lot in the show, or in after when they got to Logtown. Now this one, she did slim up, but not that much. But she did, and I like the effort. I appreciated the effort they put in, but then when I started noticing what Alvida was wearing, she was wearing like corsets and like she was pulling it all in. And I'm nothing against the actress or whatever, but continuity here. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's bring some continuity in and understand that like this Alvida was supposed to be big, and then she ate the slip fruit, and then that's what made her get all skinny and everything.
Like even mention it. Like
they mentioned the slip fruit, but not her weight.
Yeah, they specifically said that she lost all this weight and she looked different because of the slip fruit. Like I feel like even if they're not going to be able to attain the same skinniness, like you should make mention to it. Like, hey, I have lost all this weight.
You know why?
Because. And I was thinking it. I just didn't want to like say it out loud. But it's all about making like
it's gonna find its way in every show. Bro.
Yeah, like they don't want to have to say that and make it seem like because she's skinnier she's more beautiful or make comments. So it's like
better.
I get your point, but please don't like. It's an actual plot point. It's actual dialogue that should have happened. But now
because
people who don't know, they're going to be looking at like, why is she so much skinnier?
But it gives you, and not even being a plot point, but it gives you insight on what devil fruits do to your body physically. And so it's not like something where it was mentioned and it doesn't make any difference whether it's said or not. No, this is this is what gives you insight on the devil fruits. It gives you an insight on what devil fruits are and what they do, and like
the fat just slips off her body. Like that. Why can't you just say that? Just say that and move forward.
Yeah, I will say I did appreciate the effort, like they did, because she was chunkier in the first one, and in the first season when they first met her. But I see what they tried to do. I just don't think they did it as best as they could, because her face was still really round and like because Alvida was skinny in the when they got to Logtown in the anime. So like skinny. But yeah, so bringing it up with Alvida shows up, everybody with the pirates. Buggy's like going all berserk, giving him that Joker Batman treatment, right? They end up whooping him. They end up whooping Luffy somehow. They're with the powder. I think it was the powder, right? I think they put a powder in his face. I don't know. They knocked him out somehow with some kind of powder or something.
Yeah.
And then they put him on trial.
That trial was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Judge Buggy was fucking hilarious.
He wasn't even a judge. He was a lawyer.
He was everything.
He said, "Shh, I'm your lawyer. Don't let me speak for you." He's like,
"You're a terrible lawyer."
now is Luffy somebody? Sometimes you just want to look at his face and shove his hat down his throat. Absolutely. Is he stupid and doesn't know at all what he's doing?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is he the most terrible person you've ever met? Absolutely. But does that mean he deserves to die? Yes.
Yes.
Let's wrap up the case. Let's wrap it that. That thing was hilarious.
Man, it was great. It was great. Honestly, I love the whole Buggy Pirates interaction because it wasn't that in the manga or in the anime.
Me of the Joker.
And it just seemed more like they were there together rather than it was just random people there. And then once he finally gets up on to the scaffold and you see like his crew trying to make it to the scaffold, yet they're fighting the buggy pirates trying to get to him, save him. Like, it just made things so much better. Like, wow, yes, that did happen in the manga. They expounded on it, and then him getting down and trying to run back, they expounded on those fights. And I think that is something that they should have capitalized on, and they 100% did capitalize on, because they can't reenact everything, and they have to tell a story in such a condensed way, because we know Lowtown was not just one episode in anime, so they're having to condense the story, but they need to capitalize on these bigger events, these
big moments,
these action events, so that people can say, I got the full story while I still was able to get the fireness from that plot point. So once again, you're going to hear me say this a lot. I really love the fact that they added on to this to make it even better than it was before.
Yeah.
What I didn't like though, what I didn't like though, and maybe I'm just being a nitpicker because I like looking at things and seeing what it means.
I'm about to tell you something that I'm nitpicking at.
When Luffy and Buggy were on the scaffold and he was about to what he was saying, like, I get the reason why he had to say what he said, but when the thunder hit, it first hit Buggy, and then it hit the scaffold. I'm like, the fact that the thunder hit the scaffold and hit both of them, and like you can see that it hit both of them, and then it caused it to set on fire and everything. I feel like that is also beneficial to Luffy's character, because it was the first sign that Luffy has an electric immunity, because he got hit with a thunderbolt that hit both him and Buggy, and Buggy was put out of commission after being hit with this thunderbolt, while Luffy just got up and like, all right, time to get going. I feel like they kind of took that away a little bit, just to show Buggy. I was gonna agree with you. I would have agreed with you when it happened, when I was watching it, until I saw Luffy charred up, rolling, get tossed 100 feet down to the ground, slam, roll, pick his hat up, and be like, I'm burning. Like, he's literally smoking, and he's like, all right, let's go. Yeah, like, I agree. You know I'm just nitpicking on the actual thunder. Like, when I saw the thunderbolt and I saw that it hit Big Buggy, I was like, it should have also hit Luffy. And it would have kind of shown that, you know what I mean?
So fast forwarding a little bit, because we'll get to 2 and 3 here soon, but fast forwarding to when he's on the tower and Dragon saves him, because we know that for a fact. Like, did it in the anime, Dragon actually show up on the platform? I thought he did. I thought Dragon like stayed Buggy's hand. And then
no, he stayed.
I know he did that to Smoker. I know he did that to Smoker, but I thought Dragon was like, we saw Dragon when Luffy was on the platform. Like, we saw him. I'm pretty sure we did. Like, maybe we got to go and look, but like, I'm pretty sure he, like, his face showed up or something showed up to where like he was there at some point. Like, the lightning flashed and he was there and then he was gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I could have swore that happened. I know we saw him with Smoker, like he saved Luffy from Smoker, but
yeah, no. From the manga, at least, I don't have. Obviously, I'm not watching anime right here, but it does. Maybe. I know they did do scenes where they had like the thunder flash, and you see like partial of his face a couple of times, but I don't think he was on the scaffold. I don't believe so.
It was either he was on the scaffold or he was on the building behind the scaffold, and it showed him, and then he disappeared. Like Luffy saw him. Like Luffy saw a black cloaked figure, and then he got hit with the lightning. Or it was either that, or when he got hit, Luffy saw him in his like daze, and then like boom, boom, boom. Like, I could have swore that's what happened, but either way, if it did actually happen, I wish that would have happened, because that's what I was waiting for, because that's just what my mind remembers. But Luffy gets free. Obviously, he's about to be executed. His friends are fighting. Tashigi sees that Zoro is a pirate. All this stuff. Friends are fighting, trying to get to him. The fight scenes are great still. Sanji's kicks are still a little stringy to me, but whatever. I'm not gonna recover that one. And then Luffy's like, hey guys, I'm about to die. Dragon saves him. Lightning hits. Luffy falls. They get ready to get up and get going. They start running off. Then we get, obviously, Zoro. First we get Zoro versus Tashigi. Then we get our boy Luffy versus Smoker, because everybody else is going back to the ship, right? So Zoro versus Tashigi, we know that Zoro whoops Tashigi at every point. Like that's just normal. I know she wants to. I did make a cool reference though. I was like, you know, it'd be really cool, maybe in the anime, if like, which I don't know anything about Tashigi past what I already remember what happened, but I'm pretty sure she's still alive. I'm not sure, but what would be really cool is if Tashigi like became an admiral one day, or like she just grew up and became like a top admiral, captain, whatever, and she had an office or her ship, and in her office she had like a bunch of swords on the wall from all the swords she's collected from like all the swordsmen. She was like known as like the sword admiral or like the sword queen or something like that. I don't know why my mind like went to that. I'd be like, that'd be a really cool story. Like we get to see like a young recruit come in and they walk into her office and she just has like scar on her eye and like a butt, like swords just raking her whole office from all the swords she just untook off of every person that shouldn't have a sword, which is to imply that the world government's still going to be around if Luffy becomes a pirate king, but who knows? But I just thought that'd be pretty cool.
Something on that I really love. One, and this is actually going to be a hit to the manga and to the anime. Oda wrote this whole plot point for Tashigi, and it went absolutely nowhere. From her saying that, oh, I'm going to collect all the swords from all the bad guys and everything. She doesn't. And then she just doesn't. And it's like she makes it her whole thing to get it from Zoro. Like, what about everyone else? And I'm pretty sure it didn't happen in the first episode. But no, there's not just the 21, but you got the 50 unique swords. Like, there are a whole bunch of swords that she's supposedly
after. Yeah, I'm just saying the first one she was talking about was the one out of the 21 that Zoro had.
Well, yeah, I think at that point he had two of them. But so I think this may have happened in episode 2, but I really appreciate that the live action made it a point to show her fighting someone and taking their sword and saying, I've gotten another sword. I've gotten a sword of one of the ones that I'm trying to take away from all the bad guys, of the pirates. What episode was that? I'm pretty sure it was in episode 2 or 3.
No, it wasn't.
Spoiler alert. The live action actually shows Tashigi fighting someone and getting one of their swords. So
because I only went to 3, and Tashigi shows up in 2 when they're given the brief about going across the Grand Line in Laboon. But in Cactus Island, there's no Tashigi or Smoker.
Then it may have been the next episode. I ended up watching till like 5, but don't mind me. The whole point is, I think,
great to know.
Just to avoid just highlighting that, I think the live action is doing a really good job giving more character depth to Tashigi, because Tashigi was just Smoker's right-hand man, and then we see in the future in the anime that she does get promoted alongside Smoker getting promoted, so that's cool too. But the fact that they're actually giving her some depth of character, she meets Robin near the end of episode 1 as well, and
I'm pretty sure that didn't happen.
But again, I'm okay with them adding things that doesn't like things that never happen that actually benefits the story but doesn't change the story. Robin and her could meet, and it kind of showed that Robin isn't really fully a bad guy, because she was like trying to give her a pep talk saying, hey, it's okay, things are gonna get better, like you're not where you need to be, and it kind of gave Tashigi like a pep talk to where she feels like she needs to be. So I do appreciate them adding things like that, but the whole around Tashigi, just giving her more character depth, whether that's when they went to go talk to Garp and Helmeppo and Kobe, or just the amount of lines that she had even in Logtown, I think that's once again something else beneficial that they did add for her character.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I totally agree. So getting into kind of wrapping up the end of this episode 1, we get Luffy versus Smoker. Again, I don't like Smoker, but his CGI looked great. The smoke, everything looks great. Luffy gets whooped because he doesn't realize like how to fight this person, which obviously those of us veterans know that you need armament hockey to fight somebody like Smoker, right? And then we get down to a point where Luffy got his tail whipped, got the Smoker started shoving smoke down his mouth, and then Dragon shows up, grabs Smoker by the hand, and we know the only reason why he can do that is because Dragon has armament hockey, and so he can counteract some of those things. And he tells Smoker like, hey, you might want bounce, right? He just like exercises him. It just goes flying, he just exercises Smoker out of the scenario. Luffy, all the crew get up, they get on their ship, getting ready to go off to the was it the mountain? Was it
talk about Reverse Mountain?
Reverse Mountain. Yeah, they end up getting off the Reverse Mountain. We get Dragon, and something that happens that I noticed, I was like, oh, the whole Leo is Dragon standing on the cliff, and our boy Sabo pulls up right behind him, opens the door right behind him. I don't know if that's going to be the real Sabo, but what I saw, I don't know. I didn't like from here up. I don't know. The hair looked weird for me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
But he had the long Goldilocks hair, right?
Kind of, but it was a shadow. It was not like a shadow, but it was like a silhouette.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really see. But I don't know. It just looked. It looked kind of weird to me. Yeah, it looked like longer hair. But Sabo pulled up behind Dragon. Dragon's like, "Oh, so you chose to be a pirate, huh? All right, let's see. Let's see how this goes for you, kiddo." You know what I'm saying? And that ends up season 1 or episode 1. So, I mean, I really enjoyed episode 1 there. But if you got anything else, we can hop right into episode 2. Because episode 2, I got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I hope they do up Sabo a little bit better whenever they do fully introduce him, if they ever fully introduce him. I'm sure if they're not going to, I'm pretty sure they're not going to go as far as Dressrosa. So most likely they'll introduce him and
a little earlier,
talking, like having conversations with Dragon at some point. And again, I think that's just another good thing that the live action is doing. Like they're introducing us to this character, so they're not changing the story. This is we know that Sabo was with Dragon by this point. We just don't know about him because maybe Oda didn't think about it as yet. He hadn't created that whole plot point. So I'm okay with seeing him there. But again, there are going to be some elitists who are like, I don't like this. I hate this. But I like it.
Most of the elitists that don't like it are the ones that don't watch live action TV shows. So they don't understand that things have to be different in order for it to flow. So their opinions are kind of null and void to me. So anyways, episode 2, Reverse Mountain and Laboon, baby. Laboon and Reverse Mountain. Not much to really talk about with like Reverse Mountain. Same thing. They're really about to crash the entire way up. We kind of knew that. That's kind of how it happened the entire first go around. Is they're about to crash the whole time. Luffy kind of saves them with his gum powers, right? With his stretchiness. They break the main staff to their boat, and then they're coming down the other side, and we get Laboon. We finally get the big old sad whale that swallows up the ship, and Luffy gets, Luffy is off of Laboon on the outside. And this is where things kind of take a turn for what the anime and manga was to what the live action is. I texted you almost immediately and was like, wasn't the old man on an island inside a Laboon? And you were like, yeah, just watch it.
Just let him do that.
I saw it, but I didn't see anything great enough for me to be like, you could have just done what regularly happened, if that makes sense. Like, I watched it through, obviously, but it wasn't something where I was like, you know what? I like this a little better. It was just like, I mean, that was cool, but why couldn't you just do what regular, like, because I thought it would have been cooler for the island to be on the inside of Laboon. Because when we get the Straw Hats inside of Laboon, it's like a graveyard. It's like a graveyard of stomach acid and ships and things. And I get it. But in the anime, it's like a hallway of like lights. It's like a laboratory of a river. And then they go out into this ocean that's inside of Laboon with a little island, right? A little island on the inside. And that's where the old man is. And that's who they get the story of Laboon from, right? And then Luffy's just on the outside trying to get Laboon to let his friends go. You know what I'm saying?
I'm actually not mad. Reason why I wasn't too upset with it, because I feel like they did it well. Behind the whole, at this point, he was still having Crocus. He was still having issues with Laboon because he wasn't calming down. He had no idea how to get him to stop. He was just uncontrollable. So it's like, if you can't control him, how did you manage to build this this whole room on the inside? But then, like, what really kind of like cleaned it up for me in the end was their suggestion to him, and like, hey, there's a lot of room down there. Like,
I was gonna get to that. I was gonna like bring that up and being like, it was a cool callback to the anime, being like, hey, you should just build a little island inside of him because there's a lot of room. And they all kind of like laughed and looked at each other. I liked the callback, and don't get me wrong, I wasn't mad that they didn't do it, but I wasn't like, I was like, I feel to me you should have just done it. like I wasn't mad. It worked out. Like Luffy's whole conversation with him, and then we get my boy Brook. I loved Brook. Brook looked great. Brook looked absolutely fantastic. Yo, like like.
Did you notice that they avoided looking directly at his face whenever they did the yo ho ho part? Whenever he's like laughing, I don't know how.
Why, but I noticed that.
I don't think it's because he's not doing it. He's not actually saying it with his mouth.
Probably not.
So
probably not.
I don't know how they're going to be able to tackle that in the future. Well, I don't think they're going to get as far as the
my wife.
So
Sarah was like, "Isn't he supposed to be a skeleton?" I'm like, "He's not dead yet.
He's not dead. This is a flashback.
He's not dead yet. He will be." And she was like, "Well, he doesn't." She's like, "He doesn't die though." And I'm like, "No, he does. He just gets resurrected, and he's a skeleton because they die from starvation."
Damn, spoilers. Okay.
Well, she watched a lot of One Piece with me. She just didn't, because I think she stopped at Punk Hazard when we got Brook's backstory. Like the first time we got Brook's backstory was around Punk Hazard, and so that's when she kind of stopped. And so I don't think she remembers his backstory, how they like all died from starvation, and like Brook had the resurrection fruit, or like the dead fruit, or whatever it's called, and like he died, but then he came back because he was bones and became a skeleton. But I'm like, how Brook looks now is absolutely fantastic. Like absolutely, like the Soul King looks great.
This might be skipping ahead a little bit, but I would hope that the live action, if knowing that they're not going to be able to adapt to everything, I hope they would at least get to the time skip all the way up to there.
Yeah,
so gaining everybody in the crew. I'm pretty sure that we met Jim at the Marineford War. So if we can go up to the Marineford War, that'd be amazing.
Right to the end, right to Ace's death.
Yeah, right up to Ace's death. That would be amazing. But I think we should definitely get up to the time skip so we can see who the whole crew is going to be, and then that would be a good jumping point for anybody who's like, all right, I want to go ahead and jump into the series, and they can go ahead and jump to like episode 300 something, and then they just watch 700 episodes.
I definitely think they should, if they end it somewhere, it should be like end of Marineford War. Like that should be like the last, if they do end it anywhere. But I think that'd be a hard cliffhanger to end it on, because it'd be like Aces died, Luffy's going ballistic. End of the show, guys. See you later.
Go watch the anime, guys.
I mean, true. I mean, what is this for, really? This is all advertisement. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we're gonna get 1,000+ normal episodes, but like you said, the actors and actresses are getting old.
Yeah.
So like they can't
between each season. There's no way.
There's no way they're gonna do that. So, but yeah. So we get Brook. We get the backstory with Laboon. We get the whole like everything that's going on with him. That was my only like real gripe with Laboon episode. It was more so that they just didn't do the island thing, because I thought there was no reason for them not to. There wasn't anything special in the other one except for Luffy's more interaction. I guess he is technically Lucy too, but his interaction with the old man, with Crocus, yeah, his interaction with him, and so that was cool. Their conversation was cool. Luffy singing the pirate shanty to Laboon to get him to release their friends. Fantastic. And then we get Vivi and our boy Mr. Nine, right? Well, nobody knows it's Vivi yet, but Miss Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine inside of Laboon, that whole thing, which I don't remember that happening. Did that actually happen in the anime?
Yeah, they were there too. They ended up coming and trying to attack Laboon in the anime, but we ended up finding them. They were already inside of Laboon, so that was the only difference between those two.
I just didn't remember them actually being there when it happened, when all that happened. I know that Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine were on Cactus Island, but like I didn't remember them actually being there. Now, obviously, I was remembering it right. They weren't actually inside of Laboon, but yeah, we get that whole interaction. Zoro just wants to kill them, of course, because it's Zoro. And then they end up escaping. Luffy sings that shanty to him. Laboon lets him go. He paints the whole Jolly Roger on him. And then, they end up going off. I do like the log post thing, right? She didn't get the log post inside. They kind of came out and he was like, hey, I got an old one laying around. I can show you how to use it and give it to you. And then she gets her first log post. So I think that was pretty good. Not much to really, really cover. It was just my biggest gripes is the fact that they just didn't do the normal. I think it would have been pretty cool to see them inside of like the main, like the all white wall hangar with like all the lab equipment, and then go into this random island in the middle of a whale. Like I just thought that'd be pretty cool, but I mean, it is what it is. I don't know how you're feeling about episode 2, but
I mean, episode 2 was good. I enjoyed it. It was a stark difference from episode 1. This is something I really noticed. Episode 1 was a lot of things going on, a lot of things, because I'm pretty sure Logtown was longer, like, and all the things that they put in compared to just their interaction with Crocus and Laboon. So episode 1, which is jam packed full of characters, different plot points, while episode 2 was relaxing. Now we managed to make it over Reverse Mountain. We see Laboon. One thing I did notice, I'm picky, sorry. Laboon was like down when they were coming down versus when in the anime Laboon was standing straight up, and they were like, what is that? Is that another mountain? We're gonna crash into it. And then as they got closer, they started to realize what it was. So
it was a mouth. Yeah.
So it outside of that, like it was good. It was good. It was a good introduction. I think like he even made some mentions to Goldie Roger without saying Goldie Roger. So once again, it just made the story. Yeah. Even in the midst of it, like he made a comparison to Luffy, saying, "I had a friend just like you. He didn't know how to shut up either." So I was like, "Yeah, we know who you're talking about. You're talking about Goldie, aren't you?" So I really, again, I like the fact that they're using their now knowledge to make those arcs better back then, because we now are getting more of a full story. And then the fact that they brought up the Brooks flashback, that's not something we're even supposed to have until we get to Thriller Bark, but we got that flashback now, and I was happy, one, because we got to see Brooke alive, and it's like, because I remember when they said that they were going to they were like introducing who was going to play, and I'm like, Brooke wasn't in. Yeah, why? I wasn't in that at all, but seeing it, I was like, "Oh, very nice." And I like the guy.
Who he should play? The guy that played Brooke. You know who he should play if they make a live action of it?
Who's that?
Dr. Facilier from Princess and the Frog. I think he would make a good. Now, the other guy, the guy that Keith Robinson, I think his name, the one that actually voices him, could make a good one too, but he's like he's like in his 60s now, like 60s, 70s. But I think with that outfit, I think he could play a really good Dr. Facilier from Princess and the Frog.
Almost definitely.
I think he could. Big old top hat, skinny with the suit on, has the like creepy smile. Will you shake this pulse in his hand? Like I think he could definitely pull that off 100% if they ever make one.
So and then with that flashback, it also reinforces to me, like, you gotta show, like, we gotta get as far as
him being a skeleton.
Yeah. We gotta with that flashback meeting, Brooke meeting the captain, like, we gotta see how that turned out, right?
Yeah.
Like, they can't leave us hanging. So I really enjoyed that, and it kind of made me look forward to the future and how they're gonna tackle a few other things. And then meeting, I really loved Mr. Nine. I loved how he looked. He reminded me so much of his character. While he still looked like a boy, but yet he was a grown-ass man. I really enjoyed that about him, the way he interacted with Zoro. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you're so tough when I'm tied up. I bet you won't be able to do anything if I was out of these." And I was like, "I think I'm stupid enough to let you out. Stop.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself."
Kind of jumping into like episode 3 here. You've done your nitpicky things. So I really want to do mine.
All right, go ahead.
So my number one nitpicking thing that I do not like about this show is Luffy's outfits. I do not like Luffy's outfits. One, I notice he's not wearing slippers like usual. He's not wearing sandals. He's wearing like running tennis shoes with like straps on it to make him look old.
Of course.
And then in episode 3, he's wearing One Piece merch.
He's not wearing One Piece merch?
He's wearing a baseball jersey with the One Piece logo.
Oh yeah.
On it.
That's not a One Piece logo. That's the Straw Hats Davy Roger.
Sir, I looked it up.
That's a Straw Hats Davy Roger, though.
No. One, you've been in Laboon and on the Grand Line this whole time. Where did you get that jersey from? And you know where he got it from?
Usopp.
No, he did not.
Usopp makes their
that
outfits.
jersey is online, and it's been online for a long time.
Hey, don't be
You can
using
get it on
real
the
world
Box Lunch
knowledge
website.
for a live
You
action.
can get the neighbor. So on the Japanese, there's a Japanese like Box Lunch web on the. You can find that neighbor One Piece jersey online, 100%.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm talking like.
But I'm just saying, it's been there.
Knowledge.
That looks like he went to Box Lunch and picked up a One Piece jersey, and he wore it on the show. I do not like Luffy's outfits at all. I don't.
I was going to
really
make a comment
like
about. I actually love the fact that they're changing outfits and they're not wearing the same.
So I'm cool.
Outfits from that.
Everybody else changes outfit. Everybody else's outfits are good, right? I like their outfits, but the things that they're dressing Luffy in just seem off. It just seems weird.
Is it just and then for him, uniform?
The baseball one is what set it over the edge. The other ones, I was like, whatever. It looked like pirate shanty. It looked like a pirate shanty outfit, minus the shoes. I really wish Luffy was still wearing his little chanclas that he usually wears, right? Because I think his shoes is what makes him like that more laid back, lackadaisical captain. But now he's wearing like Skechers with straps around them. Like that don't make sense to me. But it was when the jersey showed up, the really clean, fresh neighbor baseball jersey with the One Piece logo. I'm like, stop.
Let's just look inverse. We know that Nami does the shopping for the crew, and she seems like she has like a fashion eye, and she does all the needlework. I said Usopp is Nami. Nami does all the needlework and threading and stuff like that. They had just left Logtown. She picked it up for Luffy. She's like, all right, let me go ahead and just put our Davy Roger on the sleeve. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm not mad at it.
It wasn't Davy. It was no patch she sewed on. That was a acrylic little ironed on.
She made that. She did that.
Bro, that is a One Piece. That is One Piece merch.
It did stick out to me as well. When they were like walking in a little straight line and he was wearing his little, I was like, why are you wearing that? like
honestly, you're a poor put together, slab together crew that just started out, and now you got this clean ass jersey with your logo on it. Like stop,
right?
Like stop. I was like, no. I was like, stop. True, and don't get me wrong, it was clean, right? It's a nice jersey. I would wear that jersey. I have the firebending one, the Fire Nation jersey from Box Lunch, but I'm like, y'all not supposed to be this fresh. Like, where you get? He got that thing. He got it on. Don't get me wrong. He got that thing on, but like. He was in shanty pirate clothes and all this stuff, and I know she just went shopping, but I'm just like,
these are the modern day YPs, the young pirates, and they gotta stay fly at all times. They gotta stay fly at all times. Like, look at Zoro. Brothers stay fly. Sanji always clean.
With the jackets.
Nami, Nami, I noticed stays a little bit more true to her outfits.
She's more conservative
in the anime, but. I was reading an article where she actually argued that she should wear the skirt. Like, they were just going to put her like in some pants and some shorts or something. And she said, no, like, if I'm staying true to Nami's character, I want to wear the skirt. So
let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
So we're sitting on the couch. I didn't even bring it up. We're sitting on the couch, and my wife goes, so if they get to the time skip, are they giving them like boob suits or something? And I was like,
maybe
character development, maybe. I don't know.
She already got some character development. So
she legit was just like, are they giving them like suits to, And I was like, probably not because of the Alvida thing, but they should.
Quite honestly, with Nami, all they gotta do is give her a push-up bra. If she got a nice push-up bra, because she already got some development going on. I think they have her look more flatboard because that's how she looks in the pre-time skip. But we also have to understand that it's a shonen. So like in the anime, they're gonna make it more like there's gonna be more sex appeal. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Like that's what maturity looks like.
Yeah, that's what they associate maturity to, which is not necessarily true. But it was just funny that she asked me that question, and I was like, yeah, you and about 200 million other Reddit users are asking the same question, but whatever. Anyways, jumping into Cactus Island. So obviously, Luffy is sitting there talking with Vivi. Side note here, another character observation I've made. Does Vivi seem a lot more sassy and mean? She seems a lot more like, oh really? Like she seems like a
little bit more
ass.
sassy, but mean. That was her character in the beginning.
I remember her being mean. I remember her being mean, but she seems more like smart alecky, like sassy, and like more like, oh, you think like an asshole.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It came off like, I know they were trying to like embody the whole she's a princess and she thinks that what she believes is the right way of going about things. But I think the actual actress's personalities maybe blend out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that for any specific reason because I love her as a character. I just want to point that out. Like I do love this because as I discussed also with Sarah, because she asked me the same question about Luffy being like, I think he's Portuguese, I believe, something like that. I forgot exactly what he is, but she asked me like, why is he have like a Hispanic kind of tone to him? And I was like, well, you have to understand that Oda almost, if not handpicked these people to be in these roles. And so you also have to understand in One Piece, where everybody's from is actually based off a region in the world that we live in today. So like Vivi is based off of like sub-Saharan, kind of like East African, kind of like in that area of like Middle East-ish, area. Where Sanji's from, it's more of like England side of things. Where Luffy's from, it's more Hispanic side of things. Where Zoro's from, it's the like in Japanese area. So like that's why they all look the way they look. And so these characters, like Vivi, for example, I was like, you're going to see Vivi. She's going to be like a black chick, which she's kind of like, and she's like Indian. She's like an Indian slash. I was like, that's where her island or her kingdom is based on. And so that's why we get old boy, Mr. Mama, I forgot what his name is.
I cannot remember.
Her right hand man or whatever. That's why he's also black too, because that's the region that they're just in. And so her dad, when we meet her dad, he's probably gonna be black as well, right? So like that's just the region we're in. And so that's why I love Vivi as a character. She just seems very like sassy and smart alecky more than she did in the anime, which whatever, and that's fine. But obviously, we get the idea. Luffy sees her, she tries, he's like, I think I can trust you. I can trust my gut, which obviously we know his gut is right. It's just his gut's a little too soon. But she like pushes him off. She frees Mr. Nine. They get fallen off the ship. They go into Cactus Town. I think I busted out laughing when they look back and they see Vivi and Mr. Nine sitting on the ship. She pushes Mr. Nine off. She jumps off, and then Usopp's like, no.
Yo, I love Usopp. I love Usopp. No matter
he was just like, oh no. Well, that solves that problem.
No, something that I may mention to. I cannot wait. And they better, if they take this out, we ride.
Soda King?
No, I cannot wait until they get to Alabasta Kingdom and Luffy decks Vivi. Because she been too much talking out the side of her neck. They better not take, because it was like at least 2 times in the live action. I was like, oh, I can't wait till he deck your ass. I really can't wait, because you talk too much.
They are not gonna put no man hitting no woman on live television.
They better.
They're not gonna do it. I'm telling you, they're not gonna do it. Anyways, Cactus Island looked great.
Oh yeah, Whiskey Peak.
And then,
hey, just side note, maybe I'm a terrible One Piece fan, but when they put up Cactus Island, I'm like, Cactus Island? You mean Whiskey Peak? I had to Google it, and so Whiskey Peak is a city or a town on Cactus Island. And I was like, oh, okay, because I only know it as Whiskey Peak, but okay.
I remember them calling it Cactus Island in the anime. I remember them saying like, this is like, we're on Cactus Island, or they ask somebody like, where are we? And they're like, this is Cactus Island. And then they get into the town and they're like, welcome to Whiskey Peak.
Okay.
So like, I remember that happening. But what I didn't remember is that the spikes on the cactus are gravestone.
I remember crosses. That. And I love that they pointed that out. I'm like, yeah.
I was like, holy crap, right? So, but we get on the Cactus Island. Obviously, for big One Piece fans, we know everybody's being all happy and nice and stuff because they're all Baroque work agents. They're just being shady, right? And they're all trying to get them drunk and get them. Now, what I will say that I didn't like is that from what I remember from the anime, so we get introduced to our boy Mama, and then they're getting all making nice, having parties, telling stories, but like they drugged everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they drugged, the whole Straw Hat crew got drugged, and they all passed out. And Zoro was the only one that was like pretending to be drunk, because I even said to myself, if I'm in a bar and I'm the only one that's drinking and eating and nobody else is touching anything, I'm not touching anything. Like I'm not eating. I'm gonna look around first, make sure like that steak, hey homie, that steak good. Like, but in there they all got drugged and Zoro was the only one. And I'm mad. I'm so mad. This is the first time we get Zoro allegations, and we didn't get no Zoro allegations. Like, remember, Zoro's not beating allegations for always whooping on black people in the anime.
He fought the black chick at the end of it.
The chick, but that was a big part of his fight in the anime. Yeah, like not in the live action.
In the live action, like that on Whiskey Peak, he fights the black chick with the pink hair. In the anime, that was a big. She was a bigger chick, big muscular chick with pink hair, and then he's gonna fight Mr. One later on down the line. So he still ain't beating allegations.
Yeah. But they're all supposed to be knocked out, but then Luffy's in like a pie shop. She hits him with the like vertigo dance, and Luffy gets passed out, which I was like, that was unnecessary. And then
Nami wait, we're not moving by. That was so unnecessary. Like her dance, it was just like, what are you doing? Because at the end of the day, it was buddy, Mr. 8. I can't remember his name, but Mr. 8, the me dude. It was his little thing that he was doing that was kind of putting him in. I mean, if she would have mentioned maybe like, oh, we do this combo attack and it helps us bring down the defenses, then I'm like, okay, I'm with you. But it just seemed like it was a moment just to watch her dance, and I was like
it was completely unnecessary.
10 seconds.
Because
10 seconds.
Luffy, everybody was supposed to be in that bar, and Luffy was supposed to be big belly. I mean, it's live action, so the big belly thing didn't really bother me. But like, he's supposed to be big bellied, and all of them were supposed to be like tits up in that bar, just like out. And Zoro being the only and at night, and Zoro was supposed to be the only smart one to be like, we don't know these people from our left shoe. Like, why are we eating and drinking everything they're giving us? So he pretends to be drunk and pretends to be passed out, and then he wakes up and then completely slaughters the entire village. Like he Itachi's the entire town. So like, I was like, why are we separating the crew? And like Usopp is not like Usopp. Now, the one thing I will say that I enjoyed with the change was when Sanji was like playing with the two girls with the twins, and he's like giving them drinks, and he's like, yeah, and the girl's like, yo, bring your friend. And he's like, I got you. He's like, hey, when they're calling, we gotta go. And he's like, you right. I like that.
But Kaya. What about
anime?
Kaya?
So I thought about that, but then I was like, anime Usopp would have probably been like, oh no, Zoro, we can't do that. And then, but this Zoro was like, you right.
you right. Let's get it.
Right. And then they ended up getting all tied up, about to be killed. I actually enjoyed that. I thought that was pretty funny, right? Like I thought that was pretty comical. But other than that, I wish they would have just done it normally, how they were all messed up. And like, I know Zoro got followed, but it was supposed to be at night, which it was supposed to be outside as well. It wasn't supposed to be the whole thing inside of the bar. But however, Zoro's Kill Bill moment, masterfully done. I love that fight scene. Zoro's whole fight with the 100 Baroque work agents.
And he's counting them out too.
That was perfect. I started whistling the Kill Bill theme song. I was like Zoro was just messing them up.
What my gripe is while I'm happy that Zoro still killed 100 of them, like Zoro kills people, we just want to reinforce slitting people's necks. I'm like, like Zoro, relax. This is a children's show, but I'm mad. And again, this is a little bigger gripe. I'm mad that they took away Zoro versus Luffy. because the whole point was in the middle of the night when everybody was drunk, passed out. Zoro was outside killing these dudes, and then Luffy was supposed to come out and see all the dead bodies lying around.
Oh yeah,
and he's
I
like,
forgot about that.
Zoro, why did you do this? They were hospitable to us. You don't do that to people who help you. And then he proceeds to fight Zoro, and it was like damn near even, but you could see that Luffy still had the edge, but they were getting it, and it took Nami coming out saying they were the bad guys.
Oh my god!
I was like, why did you take that away? I wanted to see Zoro versus Luffy.
That's insane because that also brings to a head like when it comes Zoro versus Usopp, right? Like you start seeing like these moments where they're going like their captain has to realize like they all have like this character and this crew development that really sets them to the next level, and realizing Zoro's even fighting him, he's still loyal. He's still like loyal to the crew, but they're also pirates. And so I completely forgot that they took that out. Yeah, I'm mad now. I'm mad.
I really wanted that. But I mean, his fight against the 100 people, that was still pretty cool to watch. And him going outside to take a piss, but he was faking it the whole time because he knew he was being followed. That was pretty cool. Zoro's still perfect in my eyes in this live action. Luffy still has room for improvement for me.
So speaking on Luffy, is it just me, or does he use his gum powers like a lot less in the live action than he does in the?
They got him.
I mean, I get it. Like every time he stretches an arm, that's like 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours. Like I get it, right? Yeah. I get it, but I don't. It just doesn't seem like he's not in pre-time skip. Luffy was very dependent on all of his stretchy abilities, and he's not using them barely at all, like at all. And so that's something that takes away from his Luffy-ness. Like again, I'm not going to complain about him not being super big bellied in the middle of the thing, but if that's a cool 10K, just put it in there real quick. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, they do a couple more episodes down the line where he actually using his abilities a lot more. So maybe they wanted to hold off a little bit. I mean, he used it once when they were going up Reverse Mountain, and he had to like grab the side of it so that he can steer the ship after they broke the what's it called?
Yeah, the rudder. Not the rudder, but the thing that
controls the rudder. So that was cool, and he used it when he was trying to punch Laboon. Like I think, like you said, it's a matter of, hey, does this scene require it? How can we use it sparingly while not having to spend tens of thousands of dollars every episode? So I noticed it, but I can forgive him.
Yeah, no, the Tulip Pirates. Them stupid little hats was just hilarious. I'm sorry. I was like, bro, what?
When I like Nami in that moment too. Like she discovered them, and then she turned on the old dude, the big crypt keeper, caught her, and she was like, "The fuck you thought this was?" And just beat his ass real quick.
Yeah. I don't remember the Tulip Pirates, but when she pulled the thing off and his little tulip went boing, I was like, what are we doing?
Oh shit!
I turned to her. I was like, see, ridiculous ass outfits. I don't know what to tell you. They're the Tulip Pirates. I don't know.
Hey, you gotta make a name for yourself. You can't be like everybody else.
Just little alfalfa tulips sitting on top of their heads. But anyways, Whiskey Peak was great. Obviously, we get a little more knowledge on Vivi for people that don't know, like that are watching this for the first time. Vivi. And his name is his name's like Helmeppo, but it's something else. Vivi and Mr. 8 or whatever she's supposedly the princess of Alabasta. After Zoro completely schwacks like the entire village, he goes straight Itachi on all of them. We get him, not killing Mr. 9, which I think is obviously because Mr. 9, is like, he's not like relevant to the story later down the road, but he has a part to play. You know what I'm saying? So like it is what it is in that. When he said he's not going to betray Vivi, he's not going to betray her, things like that.
I mean, did they kill him at the end of that?
I thought, did they? Maybe I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they killed him.
Oh yeah, because she hit him. She healed him. Yeah.
She put that heel on his face. 10,000 kilos. Like, bro, he dead.
Yeah. So. We get that, and then we get obviously Luffy get Vivi out in the street, and Mr. 8 shows up with the booger bombs, flinging his boogers everywhere. What I didn't, so continuity error here maybe on my part, when he got slashed, with the blood, and he flicked his blood, and it was a bomb too. I thought it was only the boogers he could do.
He can use spit, because remember, oh, never mind. This is a future episode. But yeah, it's any of his body.
Did it happen in the anime?
Huh?
Did it happen in the anime? Because it's not really a spoiler because I saw it.
No, this happens in a future episode. And it happens in anime too. But in the future episode, you're going to see him use not just his boogers to explode, but any of his bodily fluids or anything comes out his body, blood, boogers, he can make it explode. And it's actually a great callback to something we found out recently in the manga. Spoiler for anyone who doesn't read the manga. The previous user of that fruit, this is silly. He said his fingers were too big to actually dig in his nose, so he had to use another bodily function to for his explosion. So I find it I find it funny.
You're talking about the poop shoot?
Huh? No.
Oh, just in general, he had to find other.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it because it's like.
But he's flinging poop at people.
But I will say a previous user of the fruit, he actually was a part of the Rocks Pirates, so something definitely to look forward to in the future of the story. But yeah, with that, but it really just solidified for that fruit. It doesn't have to be your boogers. It solidifies for all fruits that depending on the user, you can use your devil fruit in many of different ways. Sabo isn't the same as Ace. Just because you have the same devil fruit as somebody had doesn't mean that you're going to use it the same exact way. So that was pretty cool. But did you like not the CGI, but their what did they call it? See, now CGI got me thrown off. The explosions that they did whenever that he blew up stuff.
That's CGI, I mean, it doesn't have to be, but
yeah, you think it looked good? Sometimes it threw me off. Like when he flicked his booger at the car itself, like you can see like a trail of fire before it hit the car. So it was like.
Yeah, I mean, there was some obviously editing errors that I saw, like editing errors, but the explosions themselves look really good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they look like whether it was CGI or not, because it's explosions these days. You don't really have to CGI. You can do a controlled explosion still. People still do that. You know, Michael Bay still uses that. So like, I did enjoy the CGI for that and the explosions and everything like that. What I don't remember though is when Miss Valentine grows her weight. Doesn't she change sizes, or is she still okay? I don't remember. I couldn't remember if she grew bigger or grew whatever. It was hilarious conversation. And I had to say this in such a tactical way to not make my wife mad. She goes, when they talk about how Miss Valentine can change her weight at whatever point, right? My wife goes, "Oh, I wish I could do that." And I was like,
"Don't set me up. Don't set me up."
And I thought about it and I said, well, number one, you're not fat at all, because she's not. And then I was like, number two, her power doesn't make her change sizes. It makes her change her density. So even if you had that power, you'd still look the same.
Too technical with her.
And then she was just like, she was like, oh, so you're saying that I need, and I'm like, no. Don't forget what I said first. Don't forget what I said first. You look great now. I'm just saying that her power doesn't change her physical form. It changes her density. So regardless of if you had that or not, you would still look the same. You would just be naturally heavier or lighter. So it won't change how you look, but you look great.
But you look good.
It was a very hard conversation to navigate. It was a very extremely hard conversation to navigate. But anyways, Whiskey Peak. Get down to it. Miss Valentine and Mr. 8 show up. They got to run, right? Because they're not really prepared for this fight. Our boy gets the little machine guns out his George Washington wig, gets them machine guns put out, starts laying into him, and then they got to take her. Obviously, they got to take Vivi back on the ship in order to get back to Alabasta, because we find out she's the princess. She's obviously the lost princess of Alabasta. Things like that. I'd be like, nah, So, I mean, that wraps up episode 3 right there. That's where I stopped. So that's where I stopped right there, because she wants to watch it with me, and she's working a 48-hour shift, so I can't even watch it until she gets back. So she said, "You want me to watch episode 4 so we can catch up together?" And I was like, I'd rather watch it together, but I might just tell her right now, like, hey, go watch episode 4 so I can watch episode 4. But I don't know. This is, I take my long breaks from the anime. This actually is making me want to just go back into the anime until in between. But I mean, thoughts so far. I mean, predictions. How you feel first? I know you watch further, but first 3 episodes. I mean, how you feeling? Like, what's your so far mid season review?
I'm gonna be real with you. Like, the fact that it got me to continue on, I was like, okay, next episode. Honestly, if it wasn't time to go to bed, I probably would have finished it. Yesterday. But it's good. It's good. It's like, at this point, I'm now looking at it as a story, as a jump point. If anybody wants to, like, oh, I'm interested in One Piece, but it's all these episodes, I don't want to have to watch thousands of episodes. Like, hey, look
give
here,
this a shot.
Go ahead and watch the first 2-3 seasons, or watch all of the live action, and then you can go ahead and jump off from there, because you're getting the gist of it, and you're getting additional information that you won't find out much till later. The information that we find out that made us say, damn, this is really good. All that context truly matters. And I think the live action season 2 is doing a really good job of embodying the story, as well as embodying all the elements that enhances the story down the line. So,
which is good, because like a lot of people who aren't prepared or have the necessary equipment in their brain housing group to like remember a callback from 1,000 episodes ago, you know what I'm saying, or 700 episodes ago, they're getting that stuff now in a full story, so that when we do get our maybe 4th or 5th final season, you already have this information, so when it comes up again, you know what they're talking about. Exactly. But in the anime or the manga, you have to go back 17 volumes just to remember what this one conversation was, so you can like figure out what's actually going on here, or like this one little clip of somebody. But this one, they're like, Dragon, I mean, they didn't explicitly say Dragon was Luffy's kid, right? Like, but Dragon is protecting him. Roger talked about him having a son, and Ace taking in his son. And then we get like Bartolomeo, like, why he's obsessed with Luffy, because we didn't even talk about it, but like he sees Luffy's poster and he's like, he like mimics him and stuff like that. And we get a lot of those, like, things that we can really make a full story out of. So when something else comes up, we'll actually know what's going on, instead of having to remember, 700 episodes later that something so small happened that turned into something so big. So, but I think it's a great show as well. I mean, I'm solid 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. The only reason I'm saying 8 is because of the gripes that I have with, the things I've already talked about before, but it's still, so far, it's something I really want to watch the next episode. Like, I'm really looking forward to continuing and finishing this out. We'll be back on here talking about it again once episode 8 wraps up. I mean, obviously we'll be discussing how we felt it finished off. I'm looking forward to seeing Chopper, I'm looking forward to seeing all that. Something funny I read, Oda specifically told them, because they were going to make a realistic Chopper in the show, and Oda specifically told them no, to keep him plushy looking, to keep him cute and plushy looking, from something I read. And I was like, oh, good job. Because that's what they were going to do to Sonic, if you remember. Remember the first renditions of Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah, like, that shit looked terrible.
And the internet bullied them into changing it.
Bully them is a factual word. That's actually what happened.
Yeah, and they changed it, and this Sonic looks fantastic, more like the plushy animal that we know and love. And so I'm glad that Oda was like, it's good to see, like, it's one thing for shows to be like, oh, this creator has like a hand in helping, and then you watch the show and you're just like, no, he didn't. Like, maybe he was just like there on the sidelines, but he had no control over it. But this one, Oda's like, no. Like, I want this is how Chopper needs to be. This is how Luffy needs to be. Let's change this up. Like, I'm seeing a bunch of articles about Oda stepping in and stepping up and being like, no, change that. No, change that, fix that. Let's do this, let's do that. Like, because this is baby, right? Like, this is his whole baby. And so you're not going to mess up his show. Like, you're not going to mess up his show. Side note, something I also thought was cool. I saw a video for One Piece live action. We're standing next to their Japanese voice actors, and they put their foot on the pirate steering wheel that was on the floor, and like, Luffy or Sanji would be like, I'm gonna travel and cook all over the Grand Line, or all over the world, and then his Japanese voice actor said it in Japanese, and then Zoro said, I'm gonna become the greatest swordsman, and then his Japanese voice actor said it, and Luffy's like, I'm gonna be king of the pirates, and then his Japanese voice actor said it in Japanese. I thought that was a cool video. But yeah, I saw them.
You still got that? Check that out.
Yeah, I'll try to find it. I'll send it to you. But I saw it on Instagram Reels where they were all together in a room, just like doing the little quotes from each other and different voice actors. And I thought that was pretty sick. But
very nice.
Yeah, that wraps it up for our review, episode 1 through 3. Be sure y'all check out One Piece live action season 2 just dropped on Netflix. Not sponsored. Netflix, hit us up. But be sure to check that out. Let us know what you think about the show so far. Down in the comments. Again, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on our future videos. We love you. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Peace.